guest is known as the doctor of the future and is a world-renowned expert in fasting and the ketogenic diet. Please welcome Dr. David Jockers. Welcome.
So great to be on with you guys.
We are so excited to have you here.
Oh my gosh, we are so excited to have you here. So you really want to help people achieve their optimal health, essentially, right? And you say that God needs no help, just no interference. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I really believe that God made our bodies to heal themselves. In our society, we just have an epidemic of suffering, chronic disease, so many people suffering mentally, physically, emotionally.
Right.
And at my clinic, we really work to get to the root underlying cause of chronic disease and help people eliminate that so their body can heal.
Right.
And with my website, we try to provide really inspiring and educational content so people can take back control of their own health.
Right.
Now, speaking of taking back control of your own health, our very own Cameron Matheson happens to be one of your biggest fans in the world. As you know, Cameron's home recovering from some surgery, but he really has changed his life due to following your practices. He really has, and he's brought us all along with him.
Right, he has.
I mean, he has always been so healthy, but then when he jumped on board with you, he became even healthier with the fasting, with so many different things, so many practices that you encourage people to do. Now let's talk about fasting for a moment, because it's something that you say is super important, and it leads to optimal health, that our bodies were meant to do this. How so?
Well, truly, I think that fasting is really the most ancient, inexpensive, and I believe that it's the most powerful healing strategy known to mankind. I mean, every ancient culture, just like we were talking about, every ancient culture has fasted, either culturally, right, religiously, or just because they didn't have food around.
Right.
And when we look at fasting, it doesn't cost us anything, of course. And on top of that, it's really powerful for reducing inflammation. And scientists have found that inflammation is actually the root cause of chronic illness in our society. Fasting is one of the most powerful ways to reduce inflammation. On top of that, it helps us burn our own body fat for energy. And it actually stimulates a certain compound in our brain called BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic growth factor, which actually helps improve our memory, our mood, and our mental clarity. So it's really powerful for our brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like when I hear that, like fasting, I immediately am like, oh, like it seems scary, right, to a lot of people to think about fasting, especially for like a whole day. Well, how can we begin?
Absolutely. I used to think that as well.
Yeah.
Right? But really, all of us fast, because when we sleep overnight, we're fasting. And I tell people the best way to start is what we call a simple fast. It's 12 hours between your very last meal and your first meal the next day. So if you finished eating by 8 p.m., you wouldn't want to consume anything with calories. You can drink water, right, herbal tea, but you wouldn't want to consume anything with calories until 8 a.m. the next morning. And when you first wake up, a lot of people are hungry when they first wake up. I tell them drink 8 to 16 ounces of water. That will fill your stomach. It will suppress hunger hormones. You'll actually feel more energized and you'll feel better. So that's the best way to start. Then you could start branching out. Your fasting is like a muscle. You actually have to build it. And so as you get good with the 12-hour fast, you'll notice that the 14-hour fast, going up to maybe like what we call a brunch fast, 14 hours, isn't so bad. And then you can move it up to a 16-hour fast a couple days a week. Right? And as you get more comfortable, you can start to extend that window, and you may even want to do it every day if you feel really good.
Right, and it allows your body to rest. It allows all those organs in there to just take a beat for a second, because we close our eyes, we sleep, we do so many things to rest our bodies, but we don't think about everything that's working inside. So it's so beneficial. And like you said, I mean, the Mediterranean diet is supposedly the best diet for you, the healthiest diet. Doctors have said so. But there's a reason, because in the Mediterranean, the Greeks fast about 120 days a year for religious reasons. So it lets your body reset a little bit. Something else you also talk a lot about is keto, the keto diet, and it's one of your favorite diets, and you say that there are remarkable health benefits to this. First of all, what is it and what are the benefits?
Yeah, ketogenic diet is basically a high-fat, low-carbohydrate, moderate protein diet. So we're actually eating a lot of fats, and it's contrary to what a lot of people think. We used to think fat makes us fat. What we actually know today is that healthy fats, things like olives and olive oil, common in the Mediterranean diet, coconut oil, nuts and seeds, healthy meats, eggs, things like that, these sorts of healthy fats, avocado is another one, actually help our body become a better fat burner. In fact, the ketogenic diet is kind of like a fasting mimicking diet where we keep the kind of hormones like insulin, which promote inflammation, down while we're eating a ketogenic diet. And we get a lot of the benefits of fasting, fat burning. It improves our energy levels, improves our brain function, and helps us really optimize our metabolic health. And so it can be very, very powerful strategy. And combining that with fasting, it's kind of like a brother sister. Doing those together gives you the best benefit.
And I love that you mentioned earlier how keeping inflammation down is actually good for your brain.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. The keto diet helps with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's huge. So we know that mood disorders, for example, there's 10% of our society is on psychiatric medications right now, right? We have an epidemic of dementia, Alzheimer's. And so the brain, you know, what we know today is that with the brain, all these issues are related to chronic inflammation. And that chronic inflammation is coming from blood sugar imbalances. It's coming from nutrient deficiencies. It's coming from an onslaught of toxicity from our environment. And what a ketogenic diet along with fasting do is they help reduce that inflammation in the brain. They help create blood sugar stability, and they allow the neurons, the cells in our brain, to really function optimally. They also help stimulate what we call that BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic growth factor, which is a very powerful molecule in our brain that actually helps regenerate brain cells and actually helps stimulate improved mood, memory, and mindset.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
It really is.
This is such amazing information. You know, we talked about it yesterday too. Food is thy medicine, medicine is thy food.
Just going to say
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. That famous Hippocrates quote.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
Yes,
for being
thank
here,
you
Doctor.
It's an honor. and a
I know
privilege.
Cameron wishes
I
he was
know.
here. We're going to send him to your house, Cameron.
Yes. And you guys, you can find more information about Dr. Jockers' wellness program and his healthy recipes on his social media. You'll definitely want to check that out. I know I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Doctor.
you, guys.